Time now for our regular Entre Nous spot, and we've been talking a lot about Easter in today's programme. And of course, many people around the world do celebrate the Christian festival of Easter. Sometimes it is religious, often it is just about eating lots of chocolate. And France is very lucky. It has some wonderful specialist chocolate makers. They make chocolate of a really high quality. They are called chocolatier. And we are joined by a maître chocolatier today. We're very lucky to have with us today Stéphane Bonnat. Welcome to the programme. Thank you so much for coming. And of course, our viewers will be looking already at some of the beautiful creations you have brought with you. Not traditional Easter eggs. Do you want to just maybe go through those and explain?
Oh, these are moldings. Some of the forms we have are 200 years old. The history of the family with cacao and chocolate starts around 1705. I'm the 11th generation.
Your family?
Exactly, right. Yeah, from father to sons. And we keep a lot of very ancient forms that are still the same since a very long time. And we are using them in the Alps only for the Easter season. While in some other region of France, it's all year long, especially the haze, which is, for example, at the border with Germany, is a all year long tradition, not in the Alps. You have the chicken, you have the bells, you have eggs, you have fish, and real shell eggs that are, for us, some kind of novelty, because we only do that since 1902.
So let's just, those ones
it's
have
a real shell egg.
shells around them.
We clean the
and
shell.
What is inside?
Is chocolate and praline. Praline is a mix with hazelnuts or almonds and sugar.
Right.
All products are coming from France, from Provence. And it's a very traditional thing, like initially coming from Italy and then spread 200 years ago during the Napoleon Wars to France.
And how do you get the praline into that beautiful proper egg shell?
It's a secret, but it's a very long work. Only to clean the shell, it takes something like 2 months. And then we have to dry them, store them, and then fill them first with a chocolate layer and then with a mix of hazelnuts and sugar.
Wow.
And you have to break them to eat them.
Gosh.
Exactly.
Tell us as well, now, some of our people watching might know, we were talking earlier on France 24 about the cloche, those bells there. That is very quickly a tradition,
They're supposed to fly back to Rome.
The bells stop
exactly.
on the Christian festival or the Christian day of Good Friday. And they
come back and ring all across the country.
They fly to Rome and they come back and ring all across. This is the story, the tradition that children are told here in France.
Yeah, the fish was the sign of Christianity under the Roman Empire.
Okay.
It's also the Alpha and the Omega, so the beginning and the end.
Okay, you didn't have any fish there. But I didn't point. Maybe do you want to lift up one of those?
It was very hard to bring them through the train, and I think they broke.
Right. Okay.
Unfortunately.
And
the chicken, because the chicken is giving the egg, and the egg is the symbol of the origin. So also everything is following the main idea that the religion must be hidden to the Romans. Mm-hmm. So it's more than 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know, it's maybe a countryside thing.
Okay.
I have no clue about this.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the actual science behind all of this? How does it go from a cocoa bean to something like that? What happens? The proper procedure.
It's very, very complicated. It's really a real work. For example, there are only 6 maître chocolatiers in France that have more than 2 generations of processing cacao. And very often you read that there are only 3 kinds of cacao beans in the world, while really it's 1,421 yet. And we have to go and seek for the real good beans across the equatorial belt. Sorry.
So where do you get your beans from?
Exactly. Oh, we have 60 incomings right now. We are, with my wife, something like 10 times a year in the plantations. We own plantation in Peru, in Brazil, and Mexico. And we have to process the fermentation, then the drying, to select the range of aromas and tastes we want to keep in the chocolate. And then when we come back to France, we roast the beans, we have to peel them, crush, and add sugar to add a little bit sweetness. And then we have chocolate. And of course, we are playing with percentages of cacao in the recipe, knowing that in our chocolate, there's only cacao butter, and sugar. We don't, for example, add lecithin or any preservatives, aromas, vanilla, or what's else. The cacao is a wonderful product, so it's enough.
And, you know, this all fits into, you know, France's tradition of high-end luxury products, the best in everything, very high standards of what people expect here. You know, are there laws you have to adhere to if you are a maître chocolatier?
Yes, it's very complicated. First of all, to be allowed to call a product chocolate, beans must have a fermentation. Then we have to roast them, peel them, and then crush them. Without anything like this, you cannot call this product chocolate. Also, there are very strict laws on the organoleptic vision, so the perfume's taste, but also on the sanity of the product itself. We must be, I think it's a little complicated, but it's on hygiene, on the hygienic point of view, it's very, very restrictive. I think this is one of the most restricted products on the planet.
Now, we don't have very much time left, but you did mention earlier about your wife, and I gather she is is it actually called a nose for chocolate?
Exactly.
What does she do? If you could tell us very quickly.
She's a mathematician and she's in love with cacao. She's Mexican, so she helps the cacao growers to manage the good qualities of cacao and also to process the cacao a way that all the perfumes are available in the chocolate, because cocoa growers don't really know how to do, because in the producing country, cacao is not used the same way than in Europe. So we have to push them towards our palates.
Okay.
And we have to help them to understand what we're seeking in chocolate.
Wow, there's such a lot to it.
It's a real job.
We are so pleased to have you here and to see all these beautiful creations. Just to say, Stéphane Bonnat, maître chocolatier, fifth generation of Bonnat chocolatiers, and your base is in Voiron, in the mountains in Isère.
Yeah, we are in the Alps.
France.
It's the door of the Alps.
Okay, check it out, everybody.